My name is Stephan Swanepoel. I'm a metallurgical engineer by trade. I currently work in the business development team for Xstrata alloys. And when I grew up, I wanted to be a mad scientist, but I decided engineering is a bit safer and probably a bit more practical. And it's really exciting. We look at the markets, we look at our strategy for the alloys and make sure that we give support to our team so that they know what's going on in the rest of the world and they can really focus on delivering the best product without having to worry about losing sight of the global development. It was just before the Beijing Olympics, and we actually sent a team down to China, which I was part of, and we went to go look at the ferrochrome smelters in China, and we saw about 20 smelters, and it was just mind-changing and life-changing, and it was just phenomenal to see the commitment and the energy they put into the Olympics. And you have to change the way that you see them as businessmen once you see how they can just approach a project like that. I've been very, very fortunate in terms of my practical experience. I've been to mainland China. I've had the chance to be in Turkey, Russia, sometime in London. That's one of the big opportunities you do have. I've had the chance to work with people from nickel, from copper, from coal. When I started with the business development team, that was one of the projects that I started with, was to help develop a pricing protocol for the next 10 years. So that's our estimate what we think commodity prices are going to be doing. I'm currently living in Johannesburg, which I think is the New York of South Africa. It's like a business hub, and social life is just excellent. There's a lot of clubs, there's a lot of activities that you can do. And currently, my manager and one of my colleagues are busy preparing with a New York marathon with me. Well, I was fortunate enough to be one of the first Xstrata Alloys bursary candidates in 2001 and started studying in 2002. So prior to working to Xstrata, my exposure was mainly due to vacation work in the Leidenburg plant in Langa. Why I chose Xstrata, I think for me, was a more of an emotional decision than anything else. But when I had a number of interviews with some of the other mining houses in South Africa, and Xstrata was actually the last interview on my list for the day. And when I walked in there, I just knew this is a place for me. I couldn't put words to it at that stage, but you could just feel the culture was different. The way the people approached everything was different. I'm busy enrolling for my MBA. I'll probably stay in the business development team for another few years, but then I'm hoping to broaden my horizons by moving to some of other commodity units. What the future holds for a new graduate, the first few years will be challenging. Once you start working, you realize that you're responsible for not only your personal life to a greater degree, but also for the lives of other people and for the well-being of your business. The first mentor I had some 30 years experience in the ferrochrome industry, and I can honestly say the first 6 months of experience I gained with him has probably given me a foundation for my whole career. Last year I actually ran the platinum and the ferrochrome side on my own, and it's a big achievement knowing where you started from and seeing 3 years later that you're actually running the project. I think the challenge for us is really how do we mine responsibly? How do we benefit the communities, and how do we get the message out there that what we're doing is making a difference for better, and we are actually enriching lives. It's something that you really feel. Once you walk into an Xstrata site, you know you're on an Xstrata site. It's different to anything else you've ever seen. Xstrata has a very family culture in that they'll give you as much trust as you're willing to take. And the more trust they give you and the more you take and run with it, the more you can achieve. And that's really, I think, what makes the company unique. And it's given a lot of individuals some fantastic career opportunities. It's set us apart from other mining companies. It really makes us different. In South Africa, it's definitely one of the best. You're definitely going to struggle very, very hard to find something that's as competitive as Xstrata. Specifically from a bursary side, I remember when I received my bursary, it was one of the best bursaries you could achieve at that time. You couldn't find anything better. The leave is probably flexible. It's quite competitive as well, number of days leave that you get, which some of the mining houses are a bit stricter on. And Xstrata also is very freely in helping you with your studies, in terms of study leave and financial assistance for your studies, especially if it will help you in your career going forward. Yes, I'm receiving financial assistance for my MBA for studies. Well, I never imagined I'd be in the corporate world as much as I am at this stage. Being an engineer by trade, I always thought I'd be on the plant somewhere doing some research. But Xstrata really helped me to challenge myself and to move out of my comfort zone and to really do things that I didn't see myself doing, but I actually enjoyed doing immensely. A day in my life is quite unpredictable, seeing as we rely on the global markets and current situations in the plants to kind of decide what we have to do. You have to kind of get to work, and whatever comes your way, you have to find a way to deal with and to still deliver on your daily tasks. So it's quite challenging, but it's interesting. There's never a dull moment in my day of work.